Let's start there. Two big posters up on the wall: Emerging Exhibit and Presentation. Start with the Emerging Exhibit. What was that one for?
Well, Emerging Exhibit is, I think, part of their sponsorships where they're recognizing people that are very supportive of SMTA, which of course we have been for many years. I spent a long time on the board, and we just got a new member in this. Debbie Carboni's on the board for the global national board there, and we're active here in China as well as in Penang. So that's more there of the people that are active in the industry and supporting, because SMTA is all about sharing knowledge, right? We're solving problems and getting there. So.
Yeah, and that's always been an important part of your strategy. You know, it's you're in a consumables market. There isn't too much to show people on the booth, so it's important that you talk about the technology. You've also got a presentation for, what is it, TC2? What's that all about?
Well, that was the session where the papers were given, and it was a best paper sort of thing. And it's focused on some new technology in the stencil cleaning area. You know, everyone's focused on printing and improving and getting better yields and more production. And of course, if you have a good cleaner that's working on those, whether it's on the printer or off, you're going to get better yields, get better quality out. And that's the Aquinox 8830 that was presented about and received that is one that's focused on the kinds of technology that's used here in China. A lot of ultrasonic cleaning off printer systems are quite common. And this is new, modern technology, you know, invented for today's materials as well as today's designs in the stencils. You know, cleaning those 01005 apertures is. Seeing them, of course, is a challenge, and getting the paste back out is a real challenge. And that's what all these new technologies are about, recognizing that the world has changed since SMT first came along 20 years ago or so, or 25 years ago, I guess, and it needs new materials to address even those sort of ancillary processes, because they're becoming a big deal.
Yeah, and the aspect ratio in the stencil means it's hard enough to push the solder paste through, let alone clean it out.
Absolutely, and that's the real challenge. In those corners in particular, you're always going to have bits and pieces, a few solder bars here and there. You got to get that stuff out, and the materials are really important to do that, but you've also got to do it in an environmentally sensitive way, good for the workers. You don't want really high pH stuff that can be tough on the employees. And you want green, so when it's time to use it, it's safe for the environment. Of course, we're moving, you know, metals around, so that's, you know, tin and not so much lead anymore aren't the best things, but those are important things, and frankly, the market's really receptive to them. You know, including ourselves, no one had done a whole lot of innovating in that space in a very long time. And so that's been a big push for us the last year or so to continue to flesh that out and bring out a whole range of new solutions to meet today's emerging needs.
Yeah, and that was something, I think we first started talking with you about that maybe at Productronica or in the fall of last year, and we touched on it again at SMT. The market's responded well to that. What about the companies that are involved in screen printing, the guys that are making the stencils, the guys that are making the capital equipment? Are you getting the support and the liaison from them you need to be able to deliver?
Absolutely. In fact, someone was just in the labs in the U.S. last week running a big battery of tests. They see the same dilemma, and frankly, they see cleaning as not their area of expertise, but frankly, if cleaning doesn't work well, they take some of the lumps for it. So they're even more interested, all these new coatings and things that are trying to improve, and we believe they will wind up improving once we're still in that innovation phase there. So what's going to be the best choice, I don't think is obvious quite yet, but clearly that sort of approach is a winner, which is another challenge for the materials. Well, you don't want to be very alkaline to strip them off. You've got to be compatible with them to a certain degree. You know, so the stencil people are very in tune with this, frankly, and it's been a pleasant change, because, you know, part of the reason there wasn't much innovation for a long time by ourselves and others was stencil guys really weren't excited about it. They didn't see it as a dramatic thing. You know, their world's changing and becoming a lot harder to do a great job. They're all striving to do a great job, so the way our approach is, we'll do all the work.
So you become
the stencils. We've got a printer. We'll do the work. We'll share the data with you. If you have some secrets, you can keep them a secret. That's up to you. And lo and behold, much like we've done with label folks over the years, where we've solved all those problems that were rather mysterious for many years until you do. Once you do the work, turns out knowing is better than guessing. And that's we really like to know.
And then cleaning becomes an actual enabling technology to allow them to meet those aspect ratios, to be able to use their stencils, to use their materials. South China, interesting market, lots of fast-moving consumer stuff here. all kinds of things going on. What's going on for you here? Is it pretty consistent over China, or are you seeing differences between here and the north and the west?
There are differences. Here it's going about fast, but that's where the stencil cleaning is really a great match. I mean, we all know not much consumer product is clean, but yield is everything and speed is everything. So as the designs get more difficult, it's an even better match. The rest of China, that driver's not quite as intense. In fact, frankly, the opportunity for product cleaning is growing as people are trying to address, all right, our costs are rising, which is, of course, happens everywhere. And how do I deal with that? Well, it's very common for folks in the EMS world to say, well, how do I go up market a little bit? How do I do things a little more demanding, a little trickier? Well, when I move in that direction, cleaning often becomes part of the equation.
So some new challenges there. And which you've got SMTAI, I guess, coming up in Rosemont in a few weeks. Any new products? Anything exciting coming out for that?
Not quite. We've got a lot of products in the lab that haven't quite come to a boil. So unfortunately, nothing new at the show. But between now and Apex, there'll be a lot of new things hitting the market. Some great new developments.
And it feels like now you can pretty much introduce them at any show, and the world suddenly knows about them. It's not like you got to hold them back for a Productronica or an Apex.
Well, and that's one of the challenges, is that you've really got to shake out your technology now, because frankly, if I introduce it in Europe, the guys in Asia or America are asking, where is it, what is it, why can't I have it? You don't have the luxury of those regional introductions that everybody did years ago. Well, we'll start it out here and see how it goes. You got to be ready for prime time, and that's one of the reasons why it's not coming out at SMTI. The development program has been lengthened to push that out even further, so that when they come out, they're ready to roll.
And it's got to be a global rollout.
Absolutely.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much for your time. Always a pleasure, and we'll speak to you in Chicago soon.
Look forward to it. Take care, Phil.
Thank you.